Hello and welcome back to another video. This video might be a little bit all over the place because our last month has been a little bit all over the place, if I'm being honest. If you've been watching this channel for a little while, you'll know that last July our son Santi was born 10 weeks early. He was in the NICU for quite a long time, and during that time he had a couple of surgeries and he was waiting on one more. We didn't really know exactly when this would be, apart from that it would be at some point during his first year. We were waiting on a date for the last 6 months, and finally at the beginning of April we got a date. Before that date we had to spend quite a bit of time getting the farm ready to leave it for an unknown amount of time because we didn't really know how things were going to go. I was mentally preparing for months potentially of not really being able to do farm work or be present on the farm and being in hospital with him, so we did a lot of little things just to kind of make that time easier for ourselves, like stocking up all the animal feed and just making sure that everything was easy for anyone who might need to come in and look after things while we were gone. As for the garden, I made sure to give everything a really good water and prune before we left. I'm not growing an awful lot this year, but what I am growing in this raised bed, for example, needed a little bit of attention. It was time to stake the tomatoes, pinch out the peppers, and yeah, just leave everything really well watered and maintained and just hope that everything did alright in our absence. I also finished taking down some electric fencing which we had previously had running around the edge of the garden. I am planning to fence the garden properly with something more permanent and more attractive this year, hopefully, if I get round to it. So I finished taking down all the old posts which were still in the ground, which was a job I had started a little while ago and just not quite got around to finishing. I have also been chopping up lots of dead wood on our property whenever I get a chance. It's something I find really relaxing and enjoyable, so I still do a little bit of that every now and then, and it adds to our wood stores for next year, so I did a little bit more of that before we left as well. And then I also decided to take down the roof of our wood store. This roof is made out of pallet pieces and it was just never really very good, and I actually wanted to reuse a couple of these pallet pieces to fix a little problem in the chicken coop. So I took a few boards over with me and decided to use them to try and patch up a big gap that we have at the top of the chicken coop. I'm really not sure why the chicken coop is missing some pallet pieces up here, but it is. I don't know if they fell off or what, I really don't know, but the chickens are escaping from the top part of the roof here, so I needed to fix that hole before we left. The pallet pieces that I grabbed off the roof didn't turn out to be long enough, so I had to fix a couple of pieces together to make longer pieces. That was fine though, it didn't take me very long, and yeah, this chicken run is the most awkward thing in the world to get in and work in. The shade material that we've got here serving as a kind of roof is just really low and awkward. The door is really low and awkward, and just doing anything with this chicken coop and run is awkward and annoying, so I really didn't like this job. Bauru and I cannot wait to rebuild this chicken run as soon as possible and make it a lot bigger and a lot easier to access and put a full-size door in here. Not my best job, I'll admit, but it will do the trick.
Now I've just got to round up any escapees, and I think I know just where it's going to be. There you are.
One thing I really want to try and do this year is just not waste anything that we're growing. We are having a really small garden this year because of other commitments and things that we want to do and lack of water. So what we are growing, I really want to make the most of. One thing we've had a lot of this year is citrus, tangerines, oranges, lemons. So one thing I wanted to do before we left was just pick the remaining tangerines and do something with them. One of the trees this year has not really made very nice tangerines. They've been a bit dry and just not that juicy. I'm not sure why. So instead of just eating them, which is what we normally do with these tangerines, I decided I would try and juice them. We usually make a lot of orange juice, so I decided to make like a tangerine and orange juice mix. I tried two methods for juicing the tangerines. I tried blending them and then sieving juice out from the pulp, but actually that was quite time consuming and fiddly, and I actually found it easier just to cut the tangerines in half and juice them with like a normal electric citrus juicer. It worked a lot better and it was a lot easier.
I think the chickens are going to really like all of this pulp. Let's go and see. Not crazy interested.
It took me a while, but I did eventually get through all of the tangerines and most of the oranges that we had left. And yeah, I decided to use freezer bags for milk to store this juice because it's easier than canning, and I had a lot of these bags left over and we have a lot of space in our freezer, so it was just the easiest way to store this juice for the time being.
We were given these boxes of oranges actually by a mysterious neighbour, and many more boxes. Slowly working our way through them. This is the last of them now. Yeah, somebody left them at the end of the drive. We don't know who it was, but thank you very much if you're watching. And that is our result. Lots of little bags for the freezer and a couple of bottles for the fridge.
I also decided to make some curtains for our bedroom. We haven't had this window in place for that long. This will be the first summer with this window in place. Last year we did not have any light coming into this room at all. And this year we do, and we really notice it in the mornings and the evenings when it is light and we're trying to sleep. So yeah, a curtain is the conventional solution to this problem. So I decided to make a little curtain. I hung up a curtain rail and then I used this beautiful fabric that I bought a few weeks ago just to make a simple curtain. I had bought some blackout fabric as well for the back, but honestly it wasn't really the nicest fabric. It was very like rough and crunchy, but I decided to go with it anyway, and although it's not like the nicest fabric to touch, it does kind of do the trick and keep the light out, so I think it was a good choice. This job was a really nice job that I did one rainy Sunday, and it took me just one afternoon, and I was really happy with the end result. Once they were done, I just had to screw in a couple of final screws to keep the rail in place, and then yeah, they were done. It was quite hard to get a nice picture of the curtains and show you what they look like with the light coming in from behind, but yeah, I am really pleased with the result and they make a big difference. I don't think this tent is usable anymore. A nice plant pot. I know this isn't properly attached at all, but I just cannot do it on my own, so I'm going to have to wait for Melrose to come and help me, but it's good enough to at least get started working on the top. I do want this to be a potting bench, so I want it to have a back and side so that I don't lose soil off the side, and it can easily, you know, you can just scrape the soil back to where you want it and use it. So I think I'm going to reuse the offcuts to put like a back along it. And hopefully just from these offcuts I'll have enough to do the sides as well. We should do, because I'm gonna like cut these in half, so we'll see. Okay, I had a slight change of plan when I started doing this. I realised I wanted the back to be a bit higher than it would have been if I'd cut these in half, so I've used the whole piece, which means I don't have enough for the sides, so we will have to come back to this another day. Obviously this is going to be the back, it's going to be that side. It was just easier to work this way around. So we will come back to this another day when we've got some more chipboard, but for now, it's good to make a bit of a start, and I mean, it doesn't really look like it at the minute, but it is feeling like the polytunnel is getting a little bit more organised and less chaotic. At least I can walk through the middle of it now without having to climb over things, so that's something. Right, Melrose come to help me. So firstly we need to put this table on its legs, but like round the other way, you know what I mean?
So not on its legs.
Yeah, on its legs. On its legs and round the other way. Also the legs are in the wrong position. Stage one, we have screwed the legs in place on these little leg holder things, so that should make everything a little bit easier. Watch out for the wasp's nest. It's good to have one screw on this side as well.
Right, let's do it.
Right, now we stand it up.
Yeah, but we have it in the wrong position. We're gonna have to turn it.
Flip it.
What?
So we flip it like like that. Oh, it's heavy. It's really heavy. Oh. I'm gonna put my hand in the wasp's nest if I'm not careful. I don't know where we're going. What are we doing? Okay, on its legs then.
We come out because I don't know if we're gonna be able to turn.
Yeah, okay, let's come out then. Oh, it's just a heavy. Oh, sorry. How did I make such a heavy table? Right, turn it around. Mauro is making me my sides for the table. I don't think I can fit in here with the wood and something. How is he sleeping through this? How are you asleep? We done? What do you think?
He'll do the job.
It's, I don't know.
It's a table.
It's a table. It's enormous. This table has been everywhere. This original table under here was our kitchen table for at least a year. Then it was our workbench for also a long time. And it's now in its final form as a potting table, which I think is where it's going to stay.
Yep.
Honestly, it's not the beautiful potting table I had in mind. Like, it's a bit rough and ready, but it will do the job, right?
Yeah. It's fine.
It's fine. The final job that I did before we left, which wasn't exactly necessary, but it was just something that I had the materials for and I thought I would quickly do, was put up some shelves in this little corner under the stairs. A little while ago you saw me build this little like brickwork shelf at the bottom with the mosaic tiles on, and it was always the plan to have a few shelves above this to store more stuff. We decided to make these shelves out of pallets because, yeah, I'd just taken all those pallet pieces off the roof of the wood store, so I had lots going and it's, yeah, free and easy. So I cut the pieces down to size, joined them all together, and then once I had stained them and varnished them, I fixed them to the wall and the shelves were done. Who's going home today? You're going home today.
We're going home.
Who's going home?
looks enormous. I think he grew during this hospital visit.
I noticed immediately when he came out of surgery.
You thought he looked big when he came out of surgery?
Yeah.
Oh, he was probably pumped full of fluids then. But he just looks so big.
What's in that white box?
It's the organ they removed. They let me keep it.
Yeah.
So we got out of the hospital today and we're now going to the airport to pick up my mum. Timing on this all works out really well. Good morning, we are back home now. We've been home for about a week, so we're about 2 weeks past Santi's surgery and he's doing amazing. It's just kind of weird because I was really worried about this. We were sort of waiting for it for a really long time, weren't sure how it was going to go. Last time he had surgery, it was about 6 weeks until he was able to come home after that. I mean, there was other stuff going on at the time, but yeah, it was just a really long, slow recovery. And this time they said that like if everything went well, he should be home in a week in like the best case scenario. And we were in hospital for 8 nights, so it was absolutely perfect. It was exactly really as they said. Everything was as they said it should be. It's just really weird to have this like chapter of our lives that we had sort of waited for so long to happen just done and behind us. I mean, well, it's not done. There's still follow-up and stuff like that, but the big thing that we've been sort of worrying about for a long time is over and it went well. So it's just really weird to be able to kind of put this behind us. It doesn't really feel real. Anyway, yeah, we've been having a really nice time with my mum. We haven't been doing all that much in terms of projects. We've just been having a nice time. We've been continuing to work on our compost area, which I will show you in a future video. It's almost done, so I will show you the finished thing and we'll do a whole tour of our compost systems. I've been wanting to do that for a little while because we get a lot of questions about what we do with our poo, for example. It's a question we seem to get a lot, and I have explained it in other videos, but I thought it would be nice to do like a full video about our composting systems and show you. Also get a lot of questions about our wormery, which we set up years ago, and it has changed. It's no longer in the bathtub as it once was, so I will show you what's changed there as well. We've also been continuing to work on the raised beds in our garden area. So we're going to be building this raised bed here today. I think we've got enough stones. I've been collecting these for a few weeks. You're going to have to move, aren't you? It's just really fun to build them, so I thought it would be a fun activity we could do as a family. So we've been working on that, and I will show you again in another video what's going on with those. And then another thing we've been doing and dealing with lately is the water situation. Again, that's something for another video. There's a lot to say about that. It's something that's been taking up a lot of our time and mental energy lately, trying to figure out how we can solve this problem. We're in the middle of solving it right now, so again, you'll see all about that in a future video. So yeah, that's basically been our April. I think I will leave it there for this video. We've got lots of exciting stuff happening, so make sure you're subscribed because we've got some really big projects underway at the moment. Thank you for watching this one, and thank you for being patient with us over these weeks. We will see you in the next video.